You know, I consider myself a lucky guy. I'm about to leave this place with a master's degree. I'm about to go on to get my PhD. You know, everything's going my way. I love it. But I am still completely swamped with work. I have to grade papers, I have to write papers. I'm sitting here just up to my eyeballs in work. And yet, even with all of that bullshit, I still have to read one of the most frustrating and painful RPG books I have ever read. This is no joke. This drives me nuts because there are things about this game that I really love, but the things that I dislike hit in such a personal fashion that it makes me want to pluck my goddamn eyes out.
When you're an NPC,
Let's rock!
when you depend on me,
To give you weapons, items, armor, information for your journey, and still you still machine and try to hurt me. Life's tough!
when you're an NPC,
Life's rough!
I want to like blood. I really do. Even as I am talking about this, I am sitting here thinking of all the great things about it. But there are just so many things about this that pisses me off so damn much that I don't even know if the pros can outweigh the cons in this scenario. I mean, I guess you guys can look at this thing and decide whether or not you like it or not. C'est la vie. But for me, oh, this just fucking irritates me. So much. By that I mean infuriating in almost kind of a good way, or at least a not terrible way. There were things about this that I really liked, and there are things about this I really disliked, and there are things I hated about this game, and it just keeps burning holes in my soul every second I look at it. At either rate, Blood is the recreation of a classic game based around splatter gore and slasher-style horror movies. Instantly, awesome concept. With a book that has all the interest and drawing power as painting a wall the most boring shade of taupe imaginable. Not awesome. You know, I can completely understand that you're on a budget, that you want to maybe hire a friend to do your drawings and your illustrations, or maybe you just want to do pencil sketches by yourself. I completely get that. I understand that this is a passion project, and that when it comes to this business, it's kind of a little bit of you're not going to make a whole lot of money for a whole lot of work. But this could have used so much illustration. This could have used color. That was the big thing, is that this thing is slasher, gore, horror, and it's all in this uninteresting shade of black and white and gray pencil drawings. The outline is also clearly supposed to be blood, but it is just gray watercolors. Come on, man, this is one of the best concepts you can come up with a game, and yet whenever I open this book, I get all the joy and excitement as I do whenever I open my 5-pound GRE book. I also do get that color printing is expensive for an indie RPG. But man, the mere concept of color could have added so much to this book, especially just some more red. Instead, I'm just staring at gray, on top of gray, on top of gray, on top of gray. I would make a 50 Shades of Grey joke, but I think this thing has already tipped the scale in its favor on terms of sheer quantity of the color gray. Which, even that can really be forgiven. The gameplay is there. It really is. It has something. This game is good on a technical standpoint. I must instantly make this a game that is worth playing. It is a statistic-based system set around the concept of a group of friends trapped in a horror game, or any sort of horror genre movie. The game understands this and is unabashed in its premise and how it's going to work. That, unlike other games, this game is built around death in creative ways. It reminds me a lot of Call of Cthulhu in that regard, that the premise really isn't to survive as much as it is to see how far you can delve into the story before sweet death takes you. And this is juxtaposed with the writing, which is some of the most unintentionally condescending bullshit that I have ever seen in an RPG. This drives me bonkers about this game, because I can tell that this is not deliberate. I know that this guy just wants to help, and he wants to get you involved in this game. I can also tell that the creator, James Grimm Desborough, is a passionate person who loves this concept and wants it to succeed. But Jesus, this thing just screams of unintentional egotism. And honestly, it really doesn't help that before the history of this game and the whole premise of itself, there is a 2-paragraph article about the author at the front of the book. Point of fact, aspiring writers out there, a lot of nerds don't really care who the writers are or what their ambitions are. And that's really a sad fact of life, but it's true. What we care about first and foremost is the game and how good the game is. Now, don't get me wrong, that doesn't mean you can't be proud or write on an author section. You should be proud, especially if your game is good. But I can guarantee you that if your game is good, we are going to look into this. We're going to figure out who you are, what you're about, what other games you've created. But do not stick at the very front of the damn thing how much you love games and how many awards you win, because we don't give a shit. Oh, come on! We haven't even gotten to the damn rules, and you're already back in the dick measuring contest about how wonderful you are and about how wonderful your company is. Come on, man! Well, I freely admit that this is a minor area, and I might just be blowing this to just crazy proportions. Here's the thing, is that after reading about how wonderful this guy is, who this guy is, explaining to me what rules are, and after reading all this, I can't help but read this entire book in this just condescending voice that's trying to tell me how to play an RPG as if an adult's trying to talk to a 4-year-old. And this sucks, because I know that this isn't the case. But man, it just sticks out and sticks with you throughout all of the reading as you go through each section, and he just keeps giving you things like what rules mean. Very simplistic stuff that does not need this condescending speech. And that's the thing, is that on a technical level, this game is fine, but it just infuriates me so much with the cons that come up in it. This game teeters on crit or miss pivot because the game is fine, but this game has somehow managed to hit 2 of my biggest pet peeves, and not just hit, fucking dick punches them with a pair of spiked brass knuckles. The book is boring to look at just because it's just a gigantic gray blob that was supposed to be somewhat colorful. And once you get past that, the writing is so unintentionally condescending that you want to love it, but you can't help but hate it. I am begrudgingly giving this game a miss, and I completely get that this might be biased of me. But here's the thing. This game hit 2 of my biggest pet peeves. It drives me nuts to look at, it drives me nuts to read, and it's hard to get through it to get to the actual gameplay because the 2 things that are supposed to draw you in are pushing you away. And I admit, this game came at the worst possible time. I'm tired, I'm worn out, I'm overworked, and I need a damn drink. So, please, like and subscribe for more, I beg you. And if you'll excuse me, I'm going to go home and take a nap and pretend that I don't have a mountain of other work to do.